You're watching Take TV News and Views Bulletin. First, let's look at the headlines. Ontario PC Party leader Patrick Brown resigns amid allegations of sexual misconduct. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau heads to India for a state visit next month. 10 members of the ASEAN summit gather in New Delhi. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said no to tax cuts during his speech in Davos. At least 18 people have lost their lives during an attack in a hotel in Kabul. 3 people have been killed in a car bomb and gun attack at the office of the organization Save the Children in Jalalabad. Violent protests have erupted in India against the movie Padma. Ontario PC Party leader Patrick Brown has resigned just before the elections after 2 women accused him of sexual misconduct. The women were young at the time, with one in high school and one in her first year of university. They both claimed they were drunk at the time after being out at a bar with Brown, and they both alleged that the incidents occurred at Brown's home while he was sober. One incident is said to have occurred in 2010 while Brown was a politician in Barrie, and second incident is said to have occurred in 2012 when he was a federal MP under Stephen Harper. Brown has said he will remain in the party as an MPP, vowing to fight the allegations that he claims are false. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau gears up to visit India next month after being invited by India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Trudeau will make stops in Agra, Amritsar, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, and New Delhi between February 17 to February 23. Trudeau and Modi will take part in business roundtables with an aim of boosting trade and strengthening economic ties between the two countries. Trudeau is also looking to promote empowerment of women and girls. Canada and India have been working on trade agreements for numerous years, with the 10th round of negotiations towards a comprehensive economic partnership taking place last summer in Delhi. But a deal hasn't been finalized yet. On the brighter side, though, trade between Canada and India has doubled since 2010, growing from $4 billion to $8 billion. India is the top 10 export markets for Canada, but exports to India still make up less than 1% of all Canadian exports around the globe. United States taking the bulk of it. The trip may invite lots of good press for Prime Minister Trudeau, preparing him for the 2019 elections in a country that is home to over 1 million Indo-Canadians. Leaders of 10 member countries of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, are in India for a commemorative summit. The 2-day summit, which is being held in Delhi, will be followed by a Grand Republic Day parade and celebrations, which will welcome 10 visiting leaders as chief guests. The summit marks 25 years of India's ties with the Southeast Asian bloc. India is looking to enhance its Look East policy to the new Act East policy. Prime Minister Modi has been holding bilateral meetings with the leaders and discussing counterterrorism, security, and connectivity. During his speech in Davos, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said that Canada won't be cutting taxes to compete with President Donald Trump. He called on corporate chief executives to put workers before profits and take major steps to boost the role of women in the workforce and tackle sexual harassment. Prime Minister Trudeau also made an announcement today and said Canada will be doubling its aid to the Global Partnership for Education to $180 million over 3 years.
The unrest that we see around the world is palpable, and it isn't going away. These are uncertain times. We have a responsibility to address people's very real concerns. And the only way we'll get there is by listening to our workers and our citizens, and we will create solutions that will actually stick. The people in this room are immensely privileged. We owe it to society to use this privilege for good. We should ask ourselves, do we want to live in a world where the wealthy hide in their gated enclaves while those around them struggle? Or do we want to help create a world grounded in the notion of fairness? Because right now, we are in real danger of leaving to our kids a world that is less fair than the one we inherited from our parents. And I know we can do so much better. Progress of any kind takes hard work. But by thinking big and working together, we will build a better world.
At least 18 people were killed and 22 were wounded in a 16-hour siege of a major hotel in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul. The deadly ordeal ended with the killings of all gunmen by the security forces. Taliban has claimed responsibility for the attack. Dressed in army uniforms and armed with heavy weapons, the attackers stormed the building on Saturday. Guests climbed down bed sheets tied to balconies in an attempt to escape, with some even losing grip and falling, while many spent terrifying hours hiding in their rooms as the gunmen moved from room to room, searching for foreigners. Authorities have launched an investigation to find out how the attackers managed to enter the heavily protected building, which is often visited by government officials and foreigners. Three people have been killed in a car bomb and gun attack at the office of the non-governmental organization Save the Children in Jalalabad. 2 security guards and 1 civilian lost their lives, while at least 25 others were wounded when a suicide attacker detonated a car bomb outside the offices of the international charity. The Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, also known as ISIL and ISIS, have claimed responsibility for the attack and described their targets as British and Swedish groups. At least 2 attackers have been killed. The organization Save the Children has said it is suspending all operations in Afghanistan until it's safe to resume work.
तो शुरू हुई।
Violent protests have erupted in India against the Bollywood movie Padma. Hindu fringe elements in part of northern India have resorted to mass protests and vandalism with an aim to block the release of movie Padma. The film is about a mythical Hindu queen. The protesters are saying the movie distorts history.
Protesters blocked the Delhi-Jaipur highway on Wednesday to show their outrage against the controversial movie Padmavat. The Supreme Court has directed no one can ban the film after Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Rajasthan and Gujarat decided to ban its screening, but the protest regarding it doesn't seem to neutralize. Meanwhile, in Mathura, protesters stopped the train at the Bhuteshwar railway station. The film has been alleged of containing historically inaccurate content and thus hurting the sentiments of various Rajput groups.
There have been constant reports of protests from various parts of the nation against the much controversial film Padmavat. Recently, the Apex Court directed no one can ban the film after Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, Rajasthan and Gujarat decided to ban its screening. In regard of the SC's order, Haryana Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar on Monday stated that it is the government's duty to comply with Supreme Court's order. Adding to it, he said whoever wants to screen the movie will be provided security.
मौन रहने का कोई विषय नहीं है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर जो होता है वो हमारे लिए मान्य होता है, तो सुप्रीम का जो ऑर्डर है उस नाते से अगर कोई अपील के ऊपर न चलाना चाहेगा तो बहुत अच्छा होगा, अगर कोई चलाने की इच्छा करेगा तो उसको सिक्योरिटी दी जाएगी, इसलिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर को मानना ये हमारा दायित्व है।
The film has been alleged of containing historically inaccurate content and thus hurting the sentiment of various Rajput groups. The recent case of violence against the movie came from Kurukshetra, where a group of miscreants vandalized a shopping mall.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching Take TV News and Views Bulletin. Stay tuned for more updates.